I'm dancing to my own music today. I love that intro. Um, Music is something that I love to just take me into a place that we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to be talking about stress. And we're going to be talking about the different types of stress. If you subscribe to my newsletter, you know that this whole series last quarter as well as this quarter, we're talking about self-care. And in order for us to maximize our self-care, we have to deal with those things that cause us to not care about ourselves. And one of those things is stress. Our last newsletter talked about how to get rid of stress. And I started out that newsletter talking about I'm so over this. How many times have you said that? Have you ever said to yourself, I am so over this, whatever that this is? I'm so over get rid of it. But do you know experienced some type of stress? There are different types of stress, and not all stress is bad. Hans Selye said, it's not stress that kills us, it's our reaction to it. Now, that's true with most things in life. It's our reaction, our response to those things that occur around us that affect what happens to us. So, really, the definition of stress is that it's your body's response to changing stimuli or stressors. But not all stress is bad. Usually, when people hear stress or they hear you talking about stress, the only thing they can think of are those things that are negative or those things that are detrimental to your body. But not all stress is bad. And so I'm going to talk just a little bit about that today. And I pulled up my trusty notes. For those of you all who know me, you know I'm a note taker. But stress can be a noun and it can also be a verb. That's the educator in me coming out, you all. So the noun stress in a noun form is any pressure or tension that's exerted on a material, or it's a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Now, of course, when you first listen to that, you may think that it's something that's negative, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Stress can also be a verb, meaning that you put emphasis on something. When you want to really get your point across, you want to stress that point. You want to, you may use not only verbal cues, but body language and hand cues and all of those things to get that point across, right? So let's talk about the different types of stress. There's distress. Distress are the things that are negative, those things that cause a negative effect in your body or negatively affect you. But then there's this beautiful thing that I learned many years ago. It's called eustress. It's EUSTRESS. Eustress are things that have a positive effect on you. So even as I began to talk about the noun form of stress, the state of mental or emotional strain or tension that results from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Don't you know that good things that happen to you can also be stressful? Starting a new job can be stressful. You're getting the financial benefits, you're getting all of those things that you desire, but it's stressful for a number of reasons. You may be learning something that you've never done before. You may be stepping up into a promotional position, which means that now you have to not only manage your workload, but you may have to manage the workload of others. It's exciting, but it's stressful. What are some other things that could potentially be that would create eustress? Getting married. Now, for people who are looking forward to getting married or desire to get married, the only thing you can think about leading up to that marriage is your wedding day. no matter how simple that wedding day may be, or no matter how elaborate it may be. It can be stressful. The excitement of starting a new life, the excitement of doing something different or joining your life with another person, can that part of it itself can be stressful. As somebody who's about to celebrate 19 years of marriage in a couple of weeks, I can still remember back to that day and the planning that went into it, the choosing the invitations and all of those things were so exciting. But oh my God, was it stressful? So many things to do, so little time. And, in the spirit of transparency, I planned this elaborate wedding with over 500 guests in 3.5 months because I didn't really want to have a wedding. But I knew too many people, and so did my husband. We knew too many people for us not to have a big wedding. So I planned this elaborate wedding in 3.5 months. And the only benefit was is that I had done wedding planning before, so I knew where all of the resources were. So it wasn't as stressful to me as it could have been to someone else who didn't have that experience. Did you know that exercise can be stressful? I talk about the things that are important to me. I work out just about every day and I enjoy it. I get a euphoria with working out. But sometimes, and most of the time, my workouts are anywhere from 30 minutes to 60 minutes. But on some days, depending on what time I work out, that workout can be really stressful. If I'm working out in the morning when I'm at the top of my energy level, I'm good to go. I can go 60 minutes and say, that was easy. Remember the easy button that Staples have? That was easy. But then if I've postponed my workout till after I've worked for a few hours or at the end of the day when I'm not as physically alert, 15 minutes can add extra stress to my day. The excitement of it is good. I still get that same energy and euphoria, but I'm not able to put as much into it. And so, how does distress impact you? Again, distress are those things that are negative. Losing your job, getting a divorce, getting evicted. The list goes on. Okay? Just like the positive stress, the list goes on with that. And I'm sure as you listen to me talk, you can think of some things that are really exciting in your life and some things that are joyful. But then you can also think of some things that are distressful as well. So, how does distress impact you? It could cause you to have a lack of sleep, can't sleep at night because you're tossing and turning, thinking about that situation that's going on in your life, which results in fatigue and the inability to function during the day because you haven't slept at night. It can also cause you to have headaches. It could cause you to have mood changes or mood swings, which is never fun. It's not fun for the person that's experiencing it or experiencing your mood change, but in many cases, it's not even fun for you. When my mood shifts to a place that I don't like it, I can immediately feel it and I'll quickly say, I don't like the way that feel. I need to make an adjustment. I need to figure out what's going on in my life that's causing me a level of stress that's causing my mood to shift. It can cause a change in appetite. Now, to be quite honest and transparent, stress have never caused me not to eat. I have never forgotten to eat. I've heard so many people say, oh my God, I was under so much stress that I forgot to eat. Not my story. I have never forgotten to eat. But what it has done on the flip side is that it has caused me to make unhealthy food choices, which is not beneficial to my health journey. It could cause you to have shortness of breath by producing panic attacks or anxiety, where you feel like you can't breathe and you're hyperventilating. That's a sign that you're having stress, a stressful moment. Chest pains. Chest pains are not always the result of a heart attack. Chest pains could just mean that my anxiety level is so high that my heart is beating irregularly. Digestive issues, constipation or diarrhea, the flip side. Who Who feels good about either one of those? Nobody. And then that constant feeling of overwhelm. Those are examples of what distress will do to you. Now, eustress, on the other hand, you have the increase in energy, that excitement that I talked about earlier. You're motivated to do more things, or you're motivated to keep moving. You have an increase in focus because you're trying to get something done. That excitement that I talked about. Now, honestly, I keep talking about exercise because that's something that's real important to my self-care right now. And so in the morning when I get up and I know that it's time for me to exercise, I don't always say, woo, I'm on top of the world. I'm getting ready to go exercise. When I started this fitness journey a couple of years ago, I worked out with other people in the morning. And of course, we were right in the middle of a pandemic. And so we would get on Marco Polo and we would work out together. Well, as time went on and the world started opening back up and people started going back to work and people's schedules changed, we were no longer to work out together in the morning. So we just started Marco Poloing it, and whenever you could do it, right? But what kept me motivated in those early days? What kept me motivated in those early days to get up at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and do that workout for 30 minutes was the fact that I knew that there were going to be other people that were going to be meeting me right there in that Marco Polo space. And so eustress, yes, it creates an excitement and a motivation, but it also increases your productivity and your self-efficacy. You get a greater feeling of, I can. When I was working out, when I first started working out, I was breathing deeply after 5 minutes. But I kept pushing because I had people on the other side of that camera that were motivating me. Sometimes I would be leading the workouts. Sometimes somebody else would be leading the workouts. So we all became very proficient fitness trainers because we were in expectation of what the other person would bring. It also causes a positive outlook. You begin to feel good about yourself. And so on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which were the days that I chose, I always did a Facebook Live. I was sweaty. My hair sometimes was looking a mess. I would still have my sweat towel around my neck. It was evident. My clothes were still sweaty. It was evident that I had worked out. But I thought it was important to hold myself accountable. So I encouraged other people to create life change by choosing healthier lifestyles and starting a fitness journey. And unfortunately, when I stopped doing that, I had people messaging me going, hey, I'm missing your Facebook Lives. I'm missing your Tuesday and Thursday motivations. What happened to them? Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they won't. But I'm still working out just about every day. And it also increases your resilience. It increases your again, self-efficacy of saying, I can. You push yourself just a little bit harder when that stress level is not depressing, but it's exciting. And it increases your level of focus. So, what can you do to optimize your levels of stress, whether it's distress or eustress? You can focus on breathing. One of the things that I love to do is to quiet myself, center myself, get still, and just take deep breaths. Deep breath in, hold it for a count of 5 seconds, and slowly blow it out. I do that when I'm at the height of my frustration or at the height of my panic or anxiety, because that helps my heart to stop racing and it starts to slow me down. And so whenever I'm starting to feel anxious, I stop. Okay. Talk to someone, whether it's a trusted friend, whether it's someone like me that's a counselor or coach. Talk to someone that you can trust, and hopefully you'll talk to someone who can hold your confidences. You don't want to hear all of your stuff and all of your business all over social media. That's important. Find ways to stay busy. Now, not being a busybody, but if you get immobilized when you're under stress, you want to make sure that you're doing something to take your mind off of the stress that you're currently under. One of my favorites, exercise. Sweat it out, punch it out. If you got a punching bag, ride that bicycle at top speed, run on the treadmill, or better yet, get out and take a walk around the block. The weather is changing, it's getting better, and we want to make sure that you get enough fresh air. Get more sleep, journal, think positively, meditate. And what's the worst case scenario? You'll start to feel better. And so, if you need more tips on how to de stress, if you need more tips on how to take care of yourself, you can always book a 30-minute discovery call with me at my website, which is www.rubyepowell.com. It's going across the bottom of your screen. I will take the time to sit down with you for 30 minutes and talk to you about some of those things that you can do to minimize your stress and increase your self-care. This is Dr. Ruby E. Powell on Dr. Ruby Powell. Dr. Ruby Goes Live. And until we meet again in 2 more weeks, so long. Schedule your